With that being said, welcome to the Inner Room with Out of My Damn Mind. This is a space where walls fall away, where stories don't just get told, they land. Messy, real, and alive. Here, writers open the door to what drives them, what haunts them, and what keeps them going. Every voice has its own rhythm, its own scars, its own sparks, and together we trace the threads that hold us, break us, and connect us all. I am super thrilled to have this like nightcap inner room with the lovely and amazing Danielle. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course. Um, Nobody in the room knows anything. But how long ago did you start? How long did you start this? Last month, right?
Yeah, I would say we had a good, it was probably around the 25th of June.
Oh, so like a month. Yeah. Okay. So like a month and a half. Well, yeah, like a month and a half. So Danielle has been secretly working tirelessly to come up with something called a birth chart for me, and it is something that I did not have access to because well, I don't know the exact time that I was born. And every site that you go to is like, well, what you have to put in the time. And I just got like super discouraged. So Danielle, being the sweetheart that she is, we came up with a time that worked. And we used that time, and I discovered a lot about myself, and I'm sure she discovered a lot about me too. And tonight, what we're gonna do is I created 20 questions for my lovely co-host who spent the last month and a half researching a whole bunch about me, and we're all gonna learn a little bit, okay?
Yes.
All right, are you ready for the first one?
Mm-hmm.
How did you find me on Substack in the first place?
Well, I feel like it was around last fall.
Mm.
Um, I don't know how long you had been on, but I only joined a year ago in April. And I felt like I first came across you in the fall or early winter, and you were just really talking about your journey getting away from THC.
Mm.
And you were focusing a lot on like coloring and relaxing and taking time and kind of stumbling around this world of sobriety. And I felt like I was on the exact opposite trajectory
That's
because
interesting.
I was just like smoking my ass off, you know? Um, so I was a little bit sad for you, but I was proud of you. And then I just really felt this connection of like, oh, she's discovering herself amidst this new journey of not having a passy. That's what I call it, a passy. um, so it was an interesting trajectory, I think, for the two of us.
I find that fascinating. Like genuinely fascinating because I also like consider any of my addictions to be more pacifiers or crutches or, things that we know I knew that I probably shouldn't be doing. But they made life a little bit better. They made it easier, I will be very honest.
Amen.
I think I lasted 3 months without it. And I think in those 3 months I learned that I probably have like an undiagnosis of ADHD. So I'm not taking like any medication for
Me
like my
too.
own, right? And with that, it was like I still deserve some type of reprieve. So what I did was just set better boundaries with my THC
Oh,
usage.
good.
So it's not I don't do it often. I don't do as much as I ever did. Like I used to smoke like 3, 4, like 5 joints in a day and not like even care. Now it's
Yeah.
like I'll babysit a half of one, and I'm like, oh, I feel a little bit high, and we're gonna put this down. We don't need to take it. We don't have to get excessive, and that developing those boundaries, I feel like allowed me to have a little bit healthier relationship with something that people do use as medicinal, right?
Yeah.
But I also adore that Beautifully Broken doesn't also know her exact time of birth. So I say when that happens, we get to choose it. And if it doesn't feel aligned to us, then guess what? We can choose another one.
I love that.
It's definitely a little bit of freedom. So, all right. When did you go from following me or seeing my work to thinking, I want to make this for her? Like, when did you realize that this was something that you really would like to do for me?
Oh my gosh. Well, it was when you were posting about your birthday coming up and you had no slots filled for August. And I am a Leo rising, so I feel like drawn to you. And then your birthday is the day after my dad's birthday, and So as soon as you said, yeah, you can be on my live, I thought, what can I do? And so this is something I want to do for a lot of people. I tried to do it for my mom, but she's a Virgo. And I gave it to her, and she was like, girl, I don't know what the fuck this is. And it was much different than yours. So doing yours really allowed me, especially I think because you are a Virgo rising, it allowed me to get more into like, how can I give this to someone that I can't talk to?
Hmm.
And I knew we were going to get to talk about it, but so it really helped me with time management. And then the final completion, I told my mom, I was like, I know how to do it for you now. And she's excited too.
Oh, well, I mean, first, I mean, the person that you're doing this for has to at least have some type of interest or some type of knowledge on what you're even doing, right? Otherwise, this could be a lot. This could be overwhelmingly a lot of information for somebody to
Yeah.
process it. Like there's 12 houses, there are not just signs, but there are planets and like what all of that really how all of that really can affect one individual can it could be a lot for that person to take in. So I appreciate the thoroughness, but also the quirkiness of the way that it was put together that made it a little bit maybe less. And then I got it obviously a couple days before this live, so it gave me time to like kind of sit with this and not rush through it or anything, which was super appreciative. Miss
Yeah.
Hughes, thank you for joining. Tonight we're getting all woo woo tonight, and I'm gonna get exposed a bit because I learned a lot about myself in this birth chart reading. So I am curious to see how much Danielle felt was maybe freakishly aligned or maybe not aligned at all. you know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but beautifully broken says I'm a Scorpio with a Sagittarius rising. Huge
Mm.
confirmation message for me.
Mm.
Eclipse is coming. Isn't it tomorrow? Aren't we excited? In my
Yeah.
season. Yay. There's so
Yeah.
many things happening in Leo right now.
I know.
Which I'm like, okay, expand me.
Bless me,
um,
manifest money.
let's get out of this hellhole. No, I'm just kidding.
I
um,
know.
everything is great. Everything is amazing. I will. What is meant for me will arrive when it's supposed to. So there, I know it's all coming. Um, you didn't just give me a birth chart reading. I'll be honest. You created a notebook, three canvases, things I had to open in specific order, movable planets, intention setting pieces. What was the idea behind making this something I could physically interact with rather than something I could just read once?
Well, I feel like on Substack, we're all authors. We all are writers. I
Mm,
wish I had more time to write or to read as many and as much of my favorite people as I want, but I also have 45K words in my mind that need to be put into structure. So, um, I don't know about you, but I feel like if someone gives me a project, I'm like, I have to do this right now. And so I feel like this and my last 18 months of doing my own birth chart, it's something you pick up and put down. And I also really love impermanent art. So with the canvases, like you can do whatever you want with them. You can tack your cards on, you can tack a planet on, you can do all these things. And then I like the journal idea so that when you start investigating some of this stuff, you can write your own notes. And even though I know so many of us are like anti AI for many reasons, in this particular instance, I love it because I got everything about your birth chart on astroseek.com/free birth chart. And then I pulled from that, created your thing. But then I'm excited for you to go to like Google or Chat GPT and say, okay, if I have Sagittarius in my fifth, but I'm a Leo moon and a Leo sun with a Virgo rising, how does that impact me? And so AI is great, I think, because as a baby birth chart girl, I don't know how I would tell someone how
right.
a Leo sun, moon, Virgo rising is impacted in their fifth house with whatever that happens to be. So that's why I love AI. And that's why I also gave you homework in your most important section, your houses 7, 8, and 9, because that's where you're living right now. that's the phase of your life that you're in. So I'm like excited for you to do some homework and discover yourself.
I did it today, and I was like, "Oh, this is quite fascinating." But I obviously would like to put pen to paper and write it in so that it's in
Yes.
the notebook too. It's like I don't want it just in ChatGPT. But I love
Yes.
that Misuse and Beautifully Broken are not against AI. And again, we understand that things change, evolve, and you know, too much of anything is not good enough. Like not good for us. So it's just like everything in a balance, everything, you know, with the right intention is not necessarily negative. But Beautifully Broken uses AI for astrology often, and Miss Yu says, "I'm not anti AI. I believe life has a balance with everything. Too much of anything is unhealthy." So,
Hmm.
um, I appreciated the homework, and now I you just answered. I was like, I don't know why she picked just those three houses for me to do the homework, but
Hmm.
you feel house 7, 8, and 9 are most significant because that's the one that all of us are active. Is that what you said? That I'm actively living in right now.
Yeah, you are in the second set of your four houses. So your childhood and beginning life, probably up to age 18 or so, would represent your first four houses, maybe.
Right.
Or that's like the foundation. And
Right.
then when you come into the second set of four, then it represents your transition from individual self expression to deep interpersonal connection and the shared experiences. So I feel like I'm in my last set of houses right now because I'm about 15 years older than you. And so, um, sometimes when I see your notes that say, like, okay, like, how do we not stress? Or, things.
Honestly, nobody's really given me like a clear, concrete way to not do that. I'm just
I can
saying.
tell you what I do. I just figure out what is going to suck my energy. And, if I have some medical bills that I can't pay right now, I'm not going to
Oh
stress
well.
about it.
Oh well. I mean, medical bills. I'm always like, yeah, that's the last priority.
Yeah.
That's literally always last priority. Beautifully Broken says, I honestly believe the consciousness can attract with the algorithm, which is a I believe so too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can concur and agree, my friend.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I know. I had saw that obviously you had put first four houses are then the next four, the final four, and I didn't. I guess I didn't even kind of bucket myself into the second set,
Hmm.
but that does make obviously the most sense right now for me.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like I'm tiptoeing into my final four because I'm like represents your highest potential public life, social networks, and connection to the collective subconscious. And it's like that's where I want to go. That's the
Hmm.
work that makes me excited to be able to create a community and connect with other humans. So I look forward to fully jumping in and submerging into that. I will say that.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
and
so
I feel like some of us are born as very old souls.
hmm,
And so I feel like that is the case with you. And so I feel like sometimes maybe we are ahead of the game because we have lived experiences that other people haven't or what have you. But I feel like, it's like the five stages of grief. There's no right time or order that you feel them. And so if you feel connected to the last set of houses, I definitely feel that coming from you. I know that you want to do good in the world and provide for your community um and you're just kind of feeling like, what can I do? Like, how is this fair? Like, this is all crazy out there.
I mean, definitely right now, I guess I've always associated myself as an empath, which I don't think I put that together with all of this that we're talking about. But I just always felt like there's a lot of things that just don't make sense to me, and
Mhm.
I'm always trying to make it make sense, and I'm like it just doesn't make sense to me. And when I look around in 2026, I'm like there's far too much things that just doesn't make sense to me. But then because of something like social media, I get to see other people's perspectives, and I'm very open to them. I'm just like, I still don't understand what life you have led that makes you believe that what you're advocating for is the right thing. So it's very interesting. Miss U says Kitty. Yes, we are appreciating the little camo right now. Usually Onyx comes, but he actually left, so he's not.
He has a twin sister too. I don't know what
Oh.
she is right now.
Mike, thanks for joining. Miss Hughes also said everyone's journey has different timing than others, and yeah, I agree. I do also feel like I've always been ahead. So like even as a teenager, I felt like I was older, and like the things that I would want to talk about, nobody, these teenage girls don't want to fucking talk about this shit. So I'm sitting in rooms listening to conversations that I'm like, this is so boring.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I don't know what it was. It was just not. It wasn't aligned in what I would find fascinating, and I find that it's very rarely nowadays that people like to talk about the things that I like to talk about, and I get it. Some of the things that I like to talk about are a little bit heavier, and or some of the things are, why are you even thinking like that? And I'm like, I don't know. you know?
Well, and I think that's why we're so lucky to have Substack. Like
Yeah.
I've left all other social media platforms. Like
Mm.
I don't go on Twitter unless I need to go screenshot something. I rarely go on Facebook. I don't care about any of the other platforms because I think what I've really come to realize in the last 15 years, so probably starting around your age, is how shallow, there's so many shallow people. And so when you have in-depth thoughts and you're ruminating and all these things, yeah, people seem like they're not on the same level as you, and it can feel lonely. But I
Yeah.
think that
I don't even
it's
like it's not even like I feel like I'm on a better or higher level. I'm just like, oh, we just have different priorities. We just have different things that we're focused on right now. And I again, like you can stay there, but that's not where I'm entertaining anymore. Like I much
mhm.
rather have a conversation that has impacted meaning, that helps somebody, than just, well, did you see Love Island last night? Could you
Yeah.
believe that?
No.
Like like those type of thing, and I'm not shitting on that show. I'm just like, obviously that has a lot of people that tend to watch it, but I'm just like, at the end of the day, they're just 20-year-olds that are the stereotypical good looking, that are rushing through everything for entertainment.
Yeah.
Like it's just all for entertainment.
I
I would
know.
like to think that those kids get an opportunity at real love.
Yeah, and like one of my really really good friends who I'll promote as being child free. I have like a lot of my close friends have chosen to be child free and I fully support them. As a mother, I'm like, "You go, girl," cuz I'm jealous. But she's always like, "Did you watch The Real Housewives?" And I'm just like, I can't allow my mental energy to be caught up in stress that is so irrelevant. So there's not a lot of reality TV that I can ever watch.
But my sister can sit and watch reality TV like the entire Sunday and find it amazing. And again, no knock to anybody who likes it. It's
Mm-mm.
just like that I'm on a different wavelength of what I find entertaining. That's why Substack is what we call the space where intellects meet.
I agree.
But I just wanted to continue to welcome in Remnant, my prophet circle, and Adrian. Beautifully Broken said this episode is going to be so good. Thank you. Miss Hughes also said I'm a walking contradiction, and I'm like, cool, yeah, same.
Same. Total. Same.
Beautifully broken, agreed. And then Miss Hughes says same. Substack is my jam. I don't do other platforms. Facebook on a rare occasion. And
Mm-hmm.
then she also said I don't do the reality TV bullshit.
Mm-mm.
Beautifully broken said yes, girl. So same. My best friend hates it. It's just again, because then people that like certain shows, if their friend isn't watching it, then it's like, well, who could I talk to about it? And then that's when you go on social media and you find the people that are talking about it, and
Yeah.
everybody
And
needs a space.
there are some days where I will veg out on a Sunday and just binge watch something absent-mindedly. But I also think I know how valuable my time is, and if I'm gonna sit down and binge watch something, I'd rather rewatch, Game of Thrones.
I mean, yeah, we all have our we all have our preferences and shows that I could sit and watch like a handful of shows over and over again.
Mhm.
All right, let's get to another question. How much did already knowing me through my writing and the inner room influence what you created versus what you were seeing strictly in the chart?
Um, I don't think there was much because I hadn't known any of your signs until I did the birth chart. But when I knew you were a Leo, when you were saying it was going to be your birthday, I definitely feel like you exude confidence. And I know that Leos exude confidence. Um, and I think just even having lives is a form of confidence. Um, so I think I was excited to find out you were a Leo moon and a Leo sun. Um, and then I was really excited about one of your houses. Um, I forgot. I have a picture that you sent me. Oh, your fourth house. It's Sagittarian, but all of the planets
Yeah,
were
you
on the
said
cusp and
yeah.
just fell right into Capricorn. So it was just interesting. And so I was excited. I was excited when we picked our birth time for you, and I like that you based it on your dad's birthday.
It well, it seemed fitting for the time, and it seemed, you know, going through it today, it seemed like a pretty accurate understanding of the life that I have lived and what I'm looking to continue to live and stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
I was happy with the way that it kind of unfolded.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. When you got to Pluto in my third house, the house of
Hmm.
communication,
Hmm.
and read about challenging surface level thinking, hidden truths, and words carrying weight. Did you connect that to what you've watched me build with Theater Room?
I'm pulling up your third house right now.
Yeah, so my third house is the house of communication, which is Scorpio,
Hmm.
which is all about like what we kind of just talked about too. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, there were things in this that I was like, it said with Pluto in the third house, the mind becomes a crucible of transformation. These individuals have a penetrating intellect and a need to explore hidden truths behind language, ideas, and everyday interactions. And I was like, yeah, I've done that since I was a kid. Like
Yeah.
just when you're a little kid and you're just constantly asking questions, and then your parents are like, stop asking questions because it's exhausting.
Yeah.
But why? But why? But why? Like no answer was good enough for me
Yeah.
because to me it's like again I'm always trying to make things make sense. So I'm like I need an in-depth explanation of things.
Hmm.
So I found it very interesting to read it because I read most of this today. Um
Yeah.
and then like I was like, oh, oh. I'm kind of building the thing that like, and especially with the reflection room with my writing, it's specifically going after systems that we've accepted but don't always benefit us as humans, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And I feel like, again, just giving kudos to Substack. Um, it's such a place where we can really connect genuinely. You're drawn to people genuinely, and then to see what you've built on your lives and how many that you've had, and then how you do reflection afterwards and all those things. And then some of the topics just in your notes. um you know I know that you're thinking really deeply, and I know that you want positive change, and that you're trying to find your footing. How can I make this happen? And I think by having your lives and having your guests on, you are gathering a lot of information, and you're going in depth about it. And you're just opening us up to new topics and honest conversation. So it definitely felt good to have that Pluto right there.
Well, again, like I said, I'm not as maybe versed in this as some other people may be, but I definitely do try to understand these things. So again, when I think about horoscopes, it's very cliche from a certain date of the month to a certain date of the month, you're this.
Hmm.
And then, being a Leo my entire life, because that has never changed, people always have this assumption. So I want to debunk the confidence thing because I don't know how I exude it, but I'm always nervous as shit on doing these things. I genuinely, as everybody watches or re-watches the replay or anything, if you think that I'm exuding confidence, I appreciate you very much. But just know that I'm shitting my pants the entire time. Because I gotta. I know what I want to do to be a part, like part of my legacy and make my imprint on this world while I'm here, but so that kind of requires me to kind of be out there, but that doesn't mean that that's where I'm most comfortable, you
Hmm.
know? Um uh freaking beautifully broken said can't take a compliment. Sorry, not sorry.
Right?
Yeah, she
But
does that. She calls that out in the best way. And Miss Hughes also said gathering your tribe, which I am trying to. Bougie Hippie, thank you for joining, my love. But yeah, so I'm gonna debunk it for at least this Leo. I I get that a lot that I'm confident. But I'm like, I don't know how you guys get that because I'm always usually nervous and shitting myself. So
well, I think just the fact of having a life is an act of confidence. I think all of us writing here and sharing is an act of confidence.
hmm.
I think that uh, I would never guess that you were nervous when you're doing the live. Um, and I think that you look confident. I think that you look powerful to me. Like, I feel like you embody your body well. And um, to me, you just look like a professional podcaster or, you
I've
know.
been doing this my whole life, right? First of all, Berta, I didn't even know you were in here. Hello, good evening, my lovely friend. She writes, "You're doing it in spite of what your insides are screaming."
Hmm.
So that requires confidence or courage.
I think courage first, but you had to have confidence before you had the courage, I think.
Interesting. Interesting. It's
Um,
like a chicken and the egg.
yeah, totally. And then you have to have confidence after you have the courage.
Mm.
So I feel that you are magnanimous. Like,
That's.
especially if we think about Leos being associated with lions and lionesses.
I
Um,
think I think lionesses are badass. So I'm like I'd rather be associated with the lioness. I'm a female Leo, so I'm a lioness, and lionesses
yes,
are powerful
yes,
beaches in the jungle. So
yes. I got goosebumps when you were saying that. But I think the awesome thing is that there's confident people that act like dickheads, but then there's confident people that are confident because they're doing the work and doing something authentic. And so I think the confidence that I'm talking about is the confidence in your words, the confidence in your ideas. It's not a pompous confidence; it's an authentic confidence. So.
Yeah, it took a while to get here. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah.
Beautifully broken says exactly. I'm not confident and would never do a live on my own. So I have always had a co-host,
Yeah.
except for like two times when I've done a live by myself.
Hmm.
Um, so if that tells you guys something.
Hmm.
um, but Berta says courage, brave. Beautifully broken says both. Courage is a thought. Courage is thought. Confidence is action, which I kind of like the way
Mm,
that that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Tina, thanks for joining. Miss You says, I'm the same way. However, my issue comes afterwards. I freak out about what I said or didn't say, how I said it, and was I factual. I've come to a point where I don't give a fuck.
Right.
um,
Hi. Hmm.
I have definitely ruminated after a conversation. Like, damn, why didn't I say this? or why didn't I say it like this, or I should
Mhm.
have said this. I've definitely done
Mhm.
that, and I've learned to stop doing that
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
think I've just learned to accept whatever came out in the moment is what was needed, and that there's like I cannot go back. I cannot rehab this conversation. So why am I going to dwell on something that I cannot fix? You
Mhm.
know.
I feel like exactly where you are on your path, being your age, is right around the time when I started feeling all those things too. Like, okay, get out of here, little energy vampire suckers. Like, I don't have space for you. And just really protecting yourself. Really protecting yourself is the most important thing. And um, I just feel like when I look at you and what you're going through at your age, and then knowing that I'm older, that I don't give a fuck decade it's been a decade and a half. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, so I think it's a freedom. It's freedom. And what I really was meaning to tell you is that um, I feel like if we've gone through struggles, right, and we're ruminating and ruminating and ruminating, losing a relationship unexpectedly, all those things, then you're just ruminating on those for quite some time. But once you've done the healing work, and it can take a really long time, I'm barely unfurling from my divorce 3 years ago. But now I have the mental space to create, to be confident enough to say, yes, I want to go on a live, to have the time to give someone, to make a journal, like to do those things I loved, putting my energy into an hour of you every day. I loved seeing myself go on the timeline properly, but it's all because I have the mental capacity to like rest, relax, reset. Yes, there's stress, but there's nothing I can fix today. So I just try to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think I've definitely gotten to a place where okay, so I'll say this. I have Taurus in my ninth house. And I know that people when they hear Taurus they think stubborn. And I do think that that's kind of like a misconception with them.
Mhm.
But when I wholeheartedly believe in something, you're not going to convince me anything different. So what I've noticed that because if I'm that way, there's a good chance that a lot of people are that way. So what I've noticed is to protect my energy, if you and I think differently, I'm accepting that. I have
Yeah.
no interest in trying to convert you to think like me.
Mm-mm.
Think like you.
Mm-hmm.
We have completely different views on whatever the case might be, but like I have because that's where I used to waste a lot of energy.
Yes.
Like being debatable with somebody in like more of an argumentative way. Like, no, you should see this from my view. This should be like, why are you not listening to me? You're wrong. Like that type of thing. And I'm very well aware that at a point in my life that was definitely something like that. So when I saw that I had Taurus in my ninth house, and
Mm-hmm.
I, everything is tabbed so beautifully, which I love. So it makes it a little bit easier to find the things that I'm looking for because I didn't know that every house had a name, right? So it says the ninth house is the house of philosophy and expansion. Yeah, once I believe something, and I wholeheartedly believe it with all my passion, you're not going to convince me any differently,
Right.
and I'm not going to argue with you over it. So
Right.
don't come at me. So
Right.
that made so much sense for me.
And it's also the house, if I'm correct, of morals and ethics. And
Mm,
so, and P.S., I love Tauruses. I mean, I think everybody has some weird association with something that they've heard about something, but um,
I love them
I
too. I get
have
along with them great.
I have Aries in my ninth house with Chiron and my Black Moon Lilith. So my wounded warrior, my badass BZ, in fire, in the morals and ethics. No wonder I had to get a fucking divorce, bro. Like like anyone who is challenging my morals and ethics on a hourly basis. Oh my gosh, no wonder. Like it so just doing all this self-discovery for me, which I'm so excited for you to do as well. Like things just start clicking and you feel like I can give myself grace. And yeah, you're exactly right. I have no interest in converting anybody's beliefs. Mm-mm. No, there's no point. We're not going to.
Right, but I think it's when you come to this realization, like I don't want somebody changing my view on what I believe in. Like
Right.
I think it's super disrespectful if I believe wholeheartedly in something and you're trying to convince me that my belief is wrong.
Yeah.
Like I don't like it when it's done to me, so I have no
Mm-hmm.
interest on doing it to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but Tina said, "What other people think about us is none of our business. You are great," and I love that saying. And so thank you for bringing it back into my life because I've definitely heard it before. I appreciate that. Kita, Karen, Michael, thanks for joining. Berta is having the time of her life. She's laughing, so I can appreciate that. Um, Beautifully Broken said, "What sign did you find out is your best match?" So that's not, we're not doing love. Where this is all about me. But
Well, I I
you can go and give your best guess if you'd like.
mhm. I think that Aquarius
Mm.
is probably your best match because
I'm like I cannot believe that because if you look up Aquarius to Leo, complete opposites.
right,
Like everything is opposite.
right,
Which
right.
for me as a Leo, I'm like cool with because I learn, right? That's I like to educate myself. I like to I like to challenge myself with different perspectives. I like to be able to be open minded. So to have somebody in my life that would maybe do that, cool. But then I'm like, how would they react to me? And like, what would that look like? And bougie hippies like Aquarians are very difficult.
Oh my gosh. Well, bougie hippie, I'm an Aquarian girl.
I love that though. Oh
And
man,
here's the thing, we are opposites. You are a Leo, I am an Aquarius. My ex husband was a Leo. And I feel
July.
like
Wait,
there's
July or August?
August.
Oh,
And my dad was a Leo. And so I feel like there's good Leos and there's bad Leos. Just
but
like
I mean,
there's
it's people. There's like regular people. They're good
I
people.
know.
They're bad people. They just
I
happen
know.
to be Leos.
And so I feel like yes, Aquarians are difficult too, but when we look at your ascending and we look at your moon, that gives us more to know. So um I feel like Aquarians and Leos can be excellent together if you get the right kind together. Um and
That's like a once in a lifetime shot. I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna find love. That's how I feel like. Oh, the rarity of that perfect Aquarian walking into my life is very interesting. Um,
but I
oh man,
also read that Aquarians are super good with Sagittarius. And I
which is
was
a fire
recently
sign.
yeah, I was recently dating one and he was so excited about our synastry. I was like, "Whoa, daddy." And he was just super excited about it and I was too, and we found out that independence, intellectualism, and truth are the foundations for a relationship of that nature. But I feel
That sounds
like,
like it would be the same for you with the Leo. Like I feel
yeah,
like that would still need to be necessary.
yeah,
Um, So very interesting, beautifully broken. Thank you for asking this lovely question. And she said, "I'm a Scorpio. We have no match." So my dad is a Leo. He's August 22nd, so he's right before the cutoff, and he has been dating a Scorpio for like over 10 years. And they keep
mm,
they live separate, like live separately. They don't live together. And I think that that's like what I said, the independence part. I think that that has been something that has helped that relationship. Thrive for as long as they have. So never say never, beautifully broken.
mm-mm.
um, and then Bougie Hippie said, okay, then I mean men. So she's going to take back her Aquarius comment because she's talking about men. And I do feel like there is a difference between male and female energy in these spaces. So we'll give her the kudos. Miss Yu said, I believe that spirituality is very personal and shouldn't be pushed onto others. We can believe the same thing or different variations of the same truth. What's true for me isn't going to be true for someone else. And yes, again, I am always like, I understand how much humans need to believe in something.
Mhm.
So whether you're a Christian, Catholic, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, I don't care, or just spiritual,
Mhm.
but we all at the same point are just, we have to believe that there is something bigger in us or outside of us, you
Mhm.
know? And
Mhm.
I respect it. Tina says, if you love the reflection you see in the mirror, you are doing great. Gotta be great me before a great we. So
Mhm.
I definitely, it's funny.
Hmm.
I am a little bit older, but people still obviously consider me young. Um, and I obviously heard a lot growing up, like, you gotta love yourself before you can love anyone else. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yo, these fucking cliches, the way that they come back and smack somebody in the face in their mid-30s or late at this point,
Mhm.
is hilarious because it's like there's so much truth in something so simple that has been said for generations and decades, and yet
Mhm.
people still struggle with that being the answer to everything for them.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think when I started to realize that I attract what I am, and then I started noticing what I was attracting, I was like, okay, we're not doing this right now. We're gonna
Mhm.
focus inward then. Then I need to focus on myself. I need to figure out the things that are going on because I don't really like what I'm attracting.
Yeah. Same.
So, um,
Mhm.
damn,
1000%.
why is time is going by too fast, Danielle? But
I
thank you
know.
to the chat for obviously showing up and bringing all the lovely questions and comments, and we enjoy your interaction. So keep them coming.
I feel
um,
like sorry, I hate wasting time. I feel sorry. I'm just going to skip it. I forgot. Never mind.
well, if it comes back, just let me know because
Oh,
there's.
okay. I know what it is.
Okay.
It is loving yourself first. And I feel like the reason that so many people don't listen, right, is because when someone's trying to tell us that and we're 25 or 20 or even 30, we're like, yeah, what the fuck do you know? Leave us alone. We don't want to listen to you, dummy. But now I feel like we're in this new phase of like, I'm a Gen Xer, my mom's a boomer. I appreciate the wisdom that comes down. I have some friends here, and I dated someone who was 35. And, the girls, the women here, they don't like any parental advice. I'm like, I got 15 years on you. Like, let me tell you how to make your life easier. They do not appreciate it. So I feel like when you're open to hearing, love yourself first, that's when it's going to make sense. But if you're not open to it first, then you're going to be like, whatever, bro, shut up with these stupid cliches. And I hate cliches too, but it's the oxygen mask. And I think that especially when you become a parent, if people choose to become parents, or do become parents, that is when you literally learn, like, I cannot take care of these other people unless I'm taking care of myself. And I think a lot of moms get burnt out. So I would always eat when my kids ate, slept when my kids slept. If my kids were going to take a 2 hour nap, I was going to take a 2 hour nap. Not only because it helps them go to sleep faster, but it also allows you to rest. And so I definitely think parenthood or maybe caregiving for an elderly person, something like that, or a spouse that's sick, or just anybody, like, if you are not taking care of yourself, you're going to burn out real, real quick.
Mm,
So, you know,
yeah, should have
that's the
probably
wisdom. That's
that
the
should have.
wisdom.
I was say so. I probably should have heard that like 10 to 15 years ago, but it's always great hearing it now. It's
Hmm.
funny is I've always been somebody that has connected more with older generations, regardless of whatever they are, boomers, Gen X, whatever they are. Um, and I felt like that was like my slick way of getting through life. Like, oh, if I just listen to people
Hmm.
older than me, they've already done the fucked up shit.
Yes.
I can learn without doing this. But of course, like there's still a part of my path that has to do the stupid fucked up shit
Yeah.
to get to wherever I'm supposed to go to become the human I'm supposed to become. So, you know, if there are anybody out there that's 25 and younger listening to any of this conversation, allow
Hmm.
yourself to open your mind just a smidge for the person who's in their 30s, 40s, or 50s who's talking to you. Because
Yeah.
I guarantee you, um, whatever they're sharing is out of love for your growth. And I think that's sometimes hard for people to receive in a younger, because I know it was for me, you
Yeah.
know. You will we'll listen to our best friend who's the same age as us going through the same stupidity, but when somebody who's older than us, who's already experienced it, the heartbreak, the trials and tribulations, are telling us, we're like, no, you don't
Yeah.
know.
I know. I know they're wrong. But the other thing I think is that in a way, and I'm not trying to diss anybody, um, sometimes that wisdom is passed down like a cliche. And
Mm.
they're not giving us any structure or context. So when people say marriage is hard, it
Well,
takes
yeah,
work.
right,
Well, no
right,
fucking
right,
shit,
right,
bro.
right,
I'm sharing a house with
right.
someone 24 hours a day. Like, so I think that if they could add on a little bit, like, yes, marriage is hard. Yes, it takes a lot of work. My whole thing now is get a prenup. It's not financial. It's how many chores are you going to help me with? And how many diapers are you going to do? Like, how hands on are you going to be? Like, that's the new commodity, I think. I mean, I don't think I'll ever get married again. Ever, ever,
Mm.
ever. And dating these recent guys, 3 of them were over 50. We're set in our ways. We do not want to move in together. We like things how we like things. We want things where we want things. We sleep when we sleep. So it's interesting. I don't see myself ever living with a, a romantic partner or getting married again.
I say never, but I respect that that's where you're at today.
Mhm.
I do want to get to another question. The last thing that I'll say about this is I find it humorous because I think why so many families struggle is because at some point those children get old enough where they become their own person, and then you have like a mom and dad that are keep evolving too, and all of a sudden the dynamics are crazy, and you're all forced to live together in one household, right?
Yes.
So I think if you can just realize, oh, when I live with my family how I feel, then you have to understand, then that's a starting point to understand what your needs are, what your boundaries are, the way that you want to continue to move through life. So when you meet somebody, you
Mhm.
already have an understanding of self, and you can, well, that's not going to work. I already know that's not going to work because they have completely different needs or expectations or whatever the case may be, and I already know that's going to drive me crazy, right? So you can
Mhm.
save your time and you keep moving forward.
Yeah.
But I that's what I always go to is like now living alone for as long as I've lived alone. It's like, yeah, it would be really hard to share space with somebody, but again, if that person was filling in the spaces in the ways that I needed them or appreciated them to, then I wouldn't care. You know, time spent
Yeah.
is time spent. So learn a lot when you definitely live with other fucking people. That's for sure.
Well, I'll tell
Uh,
you that one of the things that like also really prompted me to get a divorce was that my mom and my aunts and things, they still had the same complaints about their dudes. And their dudes were like 80 years old. And I'm like, okay, my dude's 40. You're telling me right now this isn't ever gonna get better. That's what I was gleaning from what they were saying. And I'm like, I don't, if they
Right,
don't
we don't
get,
want to. Well, don't want to waste the time that others were willing to waste.
yeah,
That's where the generations after those type have caught it. Like, no,
yeah,
we're not settling and wasting time anymore. All right,
right.
everybody
Thousand,
better shape up.
thousand percent.
All right, real quick. Are parts of this that felt almost freakishly accurate, and then something like Neptune in my fifth house didn't immediately feel like me at all. What should someone do when part of their chart doesn't resonate?
Let's see. I'm pulling up your fifth house right now.
So for everyone who doesn't have the cheat sheets, my fifth house is the house of pleasure and creativity, and it's in Capricorn. But this was Neptune in Capricorn, and there was just like there might have been some things in there that I was like not fully me, but I'm like with anything, I'm like take what resonates and leave the rest, you know.
Exactly. And that's why I left a few pages after each section so you could fill stuff in. But I think, let's see, Neptune opens the door. Yeah. Inspiration. Neptune and Capricorn.
It was like it says these individuals often have vivid imaginations and a gift for dissolving the boundary between reality and enchantment.
Hmm.
They may idolize love or children and sometimes become delusioned when reality does not match their inner vision. Their creative path is to birth beauty that uplifts the soul and connects others to wonder. So I feel like that last line could mean anything. But like I was like, I don't I'm more scared of kids than anything.
Yeah. I think that, let's see, an ethereal quality to love, creativity and play. Um so what I take from this, especially when it says like romance may feel like a dream or a spiritual quest, um I think what I've discovered, cuz I have some Neptune in my chart, and it's like as an Aquarius, I'm really like I have a great idea about everything how I want it to go. Um and then when it doesn't go that way, I'm like, oh, I give up then. I'm done with this relationship. Or, so I feel like that Neptune really kind of does dissolve the lines between reality and what we romanticize.
Huh.
And it's hard. It's hard. But I also think that what you and I might suffer from is that we do a lot of ruminating, and then when we share our thoughts with someone, we might only be giving them bullet points because we've thought about it so long. We're not giving them, we're not giving them that structure that they need, to better understand what we're saying, or how we can integrate better. But I think both of us being old souls, I think that open and honest conversations with potential partners really has to be at the precipice of anything that you start, because it's really easy for all of us to fall in love or get a crush on someone. Um, but then when we are tiptoeing around, right? Like I started dating someone in February, and when I went to his house, I was like, I'm not going to say anything, but I think there's a hoarding situation. Nowhere to sit down. The couch, you couldn't sit down. The only place we could sit down was a chair, and we both had to go in diagonally at the same time to fit in it. I had to eat breakfast on the washing machine. And these are things that I am never going to be able to change about him. And they're also things that aren't my business. So I never
Mm.
talked to him about it. I just made a mental note. And then when he was at my place, he was like, so what do you do in your spare time? And I was like, well, I'm really into interior design. As you can tell, I'd like to keep my space really nice, And so when he would come over, he felt relaxed because my space is clean. And then when he's at his house,
Yeah.
it's not conducive to company. And I just, it's not why the relationship ended, but I definitely felt like these are things that are not my business, and I'm not going to suggest anybody change those types of things. I think living separately is a great idea for a lot of people, and I can see why, you
I
know?
mean, I'm like, I was trying to think, I was like, has there ever been a time where humans did that? And I'm like, I don't think so. Because I think we've always,
Cohabitated.
yeah. Like even especially like back in the day that I tried to think about, like maybe that's where I came from, like hunters and gatherers, like tribal type of like you talk about like multiple people, like
Yeah.
huge amount of people. So I'm just like, I think that would be like it's like, ooh, like taboo. Like, what do you mean? What do you
Yeah.
mean you don't live together? Or what do you mean you sleep in separate rooms or something? Like, like I'm like, whatever works for somebody, that's fine. But I feel like it's like so unnatural for us because we've always been so engulfed within a community or a tribe or a family, a big family, like whatever the case may be. So I feel like it's hard. It's very
I
hard.
feel like, yes, I appreciate tribes and the village and all those things, and I would embrace them if they were more readily available. But I think, you know, when we were going through industrialization or what have you, and suburbs were being created and spread out, that was pushed on us to be
Mhm.
separate. So one family in a house, you know, and then our other families were around. Whereas it makes more sense that all of, you know, to take care of your elderly relatives, you live close by and they helped provide daycare and things like that.
Yeah.
But so I feel like we were ingrained to be individuals. And then once we got a taste of it, some of us really like it. So the weird thing that I think about sharing this space with other people is being pleasant. I don't fucking want to be pleasant all the time. I don't want to be like, good morning. Like, what if I'm in a shitty mood, you know? And so having someone in my space that I have to be societally polite to and make conversations with, like, not every day do I feel like doing that, you know?
So and this is a question for everybody. At what point in a relationship is that no longer societally acceptable? Like I I think if I'm like dating somebody, I don't I don't know how to make this. I don't know how to say this right now in the right way. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it's just like
Hmm.
I feel like I'm every day you're gonna get whatever version of me is there.
Hmm.
Like I'm not. And I don't think I'm that type of person that's going to pretend like I'm okay when I woke up if I wasn't feeling that way. And I think that's why I would need a very specific type of partner that would be okay with. Well, we don't know what version of Merlina we're getting today, but we're still happy to see her.
Yeah.
You know,
And
and we
that's,
do know that she goes through her own shit and she'll get over it. You know.
hmm, hmm,
So I just wonder. I was like, how many people feel that way? That if you start dating and then, because that's a huge decision, right? Moving in with somebody is like, oh my god,
mm.
but
I think about it. Like I feel like I could have um a roommate situation where we're sharing bills and whatnot and it's not romantic or intimate. I could do that. Um but you know, I feel like we if we were with certain people that kind of I don't know, like my ex-husband, I would be like, "Hey, how was work today?" And he would be like, "How the fuck do you think it was?" And I'm like, ugh, like I'm not used to people talking to me like that. And you know, and then I'm going through this weird phase where my kids are becoming really independent. So I don't feel like I have to talk to them all the time anymore. I'm like, peace, bro. I'm gonna be upstairs. My door's open if you need me. Get your own snacks, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. If you need me, I'm here. And
yeah,
so giving them downstairs and having my space up here is really nice. And um, you know, I really have to learn with my son because he's 12. If he's tired, I'm always like, are you okay? And he's like, I'm tired. And I'm like, do you promise it's just you're tired? There's not a deep psychological wound that's opened up in your heart. And he's like, girl, I'm tired. And I'm like,
I'm
okay,
12.
I know. And then I have to be like, oh, yes, you're right. You're going through growing pains. Your skeleton's growing. Your brain's growing. You're, you know, so it's still, um, it's still, for me, it's a little bit hard to share space. But maybe because my space that was supposed to be ideal wasn't. And so now I feel better mentally, but maybe I'm not all the way better where I think I could be in a relationship that would move beyond casual dating, you know, and sharing space.
Yeah, but as long as you're self-aware with that, like I said, I would assume that life will continue to show you what doors to continue to open and close. You know,
Yeah.
um, girl, I don't know how. This is this is my thing. Every time I sit and do one of these things, an hour seems like a really long time, and then it's gone. And then I'm like, oh, that wasn't really that long. And then I'm like, oh, I remember being in school and like it being like an hour left, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. I
So
hear you.
time is a really interesting thing. It's a doozy. But I do want to ask you like a final question before we say adios and good evening to who all might be still with us.
Mhm.
If I forget, and this isn't a big if, this is probably if
Okay.
I forget every sign, planet, house, and placement we talked about tonight, or that's in my little book, what's the one thing you hope I remember from everything you made for me?
Only one thing? Only one thing?
I mean, you can whatever you want to share. What do
Okay.
you hope?
I think that my favorite part of making it was that if I knew you were having a bad day or you were going through some shit on notes or feeling like you needed to call in your woo woo girls, your witchy girls, I just smiled because I was like, I'm sending her positive vibes and I'm writing in this journal for her right now. And so even if you were having a bad day, I was like, pretty soon she's going to get a big box of fun stuff. My second thing that I'm happy about having you have all that is that there's no time limit, there's no pressure. You get to explore all these things at your own pace in your own order. And it just adds another layer of potentially understanding yourself better. And like you said, everyone has something they believe in. I believe in multiple things. I don't go to church, but I believe in a higher being. But I also love astrology and tarot and birth charts. And um, a lot of people feel like understanding your birth chart and things like this um, could help possibly eliminate prescription medication in the future.
Mm.
And I agree. I feel like when you give yourself grace and you kind of understand what's coming your way, like if you're going to have a big opposition in one of your houses and Mars is coming in there to fuck things up or whatever, like I pace my weeks based on the energy. So if something says, ooh, tempers could flare on Wednesday, and I get invited out to dinner at my cousin's house where I know tempers could flare, then I'm like, no, girl, sorry, I'm not coming today. And I'll literally step away. I'll be like, nope. Or, so I kind of have my week guided by the energy in the air. There's weeks where I'm like, fuck, I'm going to get all fucking cute, walk downtown by myself. There's a film festival in town. Maybe I'll run into some writer, producer, and I didn't go to any bars or anything. I just made myself available in downtown. I went and did a lot of window shopping. I knew when all the dinners were going to be done. So I just kind of planned and I felt cute that week and I felt confident that week. And so if I'm feeling like, you know, Gollum, I'm going to fucking stay home.
um,
I'm not going to go scare anybody in the grocery store being all Gollum.
I adore you very much, my friend. Oh my. Um, well, I like I said, it definitely since there's 12 houses and there's what do we talk about? I'm a what rising and moons
Oh yeah, Leo moon, Leo sun,
and Virgo rising. So
Virgo rising.
there's those three like regular things that people throw out at people.
Hmm.
And then there's like the understanding of okay, but I also have Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. Like I also have all of these other things in every single house, and then also having an understanding of like Black Lilith or the different planets or something like Chiron or
Hmm.
Chiron. You know,
Hmm.
like so. Yeah, I think it's gonna take me some time to like sit and really understand it, but I think it also requires somebody to be curious about themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think if somebody's already made up like no this is who I am, what there's nothing that anything's going to tell me that's going to tell me who I am. Then this isn't going to be conducive to them. So it was interesting when you said I think that it could help people with prescription meds and it's just like, well, yeah, if anybody's open to being curious about themselves and
Hmm.
to want to understand a little bit more about maybe why they do things,
Hmm.
sure, this is a lot of stuff that you can sit with and might help you with that.
And I
I don't
think the underlying message right there is that you and those people are taking time to invest in yourself and get to know yourself. And that is an amazing way to spend your time. And when you sit quietly and you are concentrating on yourself, your mind's going to expand with what you're learning because you're interested.
yeah.
So I think we're on a path to enlightenment. Some people feel like this is the second coming of the age of Aquarius, and I strongly agree. A
What
lot of
was
things.
the first coming?
The first coming, oh, the third coming or the first coming?
The first coming. You said this would be like the second coming.
Yeah, the second coming of the age of Aquarius. I mean, some people thought that it was like in the 60s and 70s when everybody was like,
Like
oh, free spirit.
hippie, hippie
Yeah,
and love, hippie and love.
yeah.
Because I mean, most people that I talk to
Hmm.
think that love is all that this world needs. Like when you open yourself up to love and you're also loving and you give love, that can all that could help with a lot of the things that we see in the divisions that we currently live in. You know,
Hmm.
because I mean, and I'm like, I can't say no to that. Like again, if I'm experiencing everybody that I come in contact with love and not frustration or anger or bitterness or resentment or um racism or like whatever lens I might have on me, and it's just love, and like everybody encountered everybody that way. Yeah, I think it'd be really hard for us to be living in a shitty situation, right? Like I do think that love can help uplift certain things.
Well, and I also think it can help give us insight into our loved ones.
Mm.
So I was doing my mom's birth chart. I'm going to do my dad's, and I'm doing both of my children. And so if my mom is doing something that aggravates me, I have zero Virgo in my 12 houses. And she's my little Virgo, and I call her my little goody two shoes, but so to understand her, and then when I delve deeper into Virgos, they are super amazing and important. They're just more structured than me. I'm an airy person, and so when people want to talk to me logically, I'm like,
Are they a fixed sign? Virgos are a fixed sign.
I can't remember. I know as an Aquarius, I'm a fixed sign,
Oh, that's interesting.
even though I'm air.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when one of your people in the chat was saying I'm a walking conundrum, yeah, so am I. I'm a
Mm.
fixed air sign. Like,
Oh, the contradiction. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, a walking contradiction. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
with my Pisces moon, I'm just always ruminating. Like when you were talking about ruminating with Diver of the Tides, Anira, I was
oh
like,
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So,
I mean, my only encounter with a Virgo was my first girlfriend, and to this day, I respect the shit out of that woman.
mhm,
Like there, I don't think that I ever, and now that I know I have a little bit in me, maybe that's why. But I just like I don't like. I think Virgos always had like bad reps about themselves, and I just think like again, she just very structured because they know where they're going and they
mhm,
know they're gonna get there and
mhm,
they're gonna move and they're gonna do it. And I can respect that. Like I can respect people that move that way. Now, does that mean that like I always get along with people like that? No.
mhm.
But I have nothing but respect for her. And what she opened up in my life and my perspective at the time that I knew her because it was necessary. Um, so that's what I'll say about Virgos.
I in case my mom is watching today, I don't know. I would not be able to financially survive without my mom helping me after this divorce.
Mm.
And when you
That
think
takes a
about
lot of courage to say, by the way.
when her, I know, and I'm 50, and so people worried like, oh, I'm poor and I don't own a house and all these things. It's like life fucking throws curveballs at you. I can pay my rent, but I'm always like a little bit short every month. But I'm just like, well, if I got $13 in my bank account until Friday, that's cool. I'll just not buy anything. But I wouldn't be able to benefit from her if she wasn't a Virgo because she is so structured, because she planned, because she knows about 401ks, because she did all these things. I admire the fuck out of that lady, you know?
So they do have very admirable traits, even if they do things maybe in a way that most of us couldn't picture ourselves doing them
Yeah.
or understand it. So I shared with you, I'll share it with anybody here, the 12 signs that are in my houses. I have encountered all of them in my lifetime, whether they are romantic partners, best friends, mother, sister, you know, I I have had close relationships with every one of them. And I'm just like, I think this is why maybe I'm going to sit here for 2 seconds and promote if this is something that you're interested in, or if you are curious about you. I think this is something that everybody should take the time to do for themselves.
Mhm.
Because that's the first thing I noticed when I looked at this list. I was like, yep, I've known all of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and for me, it's like now I can look at those relationships or those dynamics a little bit differently because they were the whole time mirroring something in me that maybe needed to be challenged or seen or received differently. And yeah, so but Beautifully Broken says, "Love y'all to pieces. This episode was bomb. I gotta walk Chief. He'll have a good night. I have to feed and walk Onyx. I'm neglecting my dog to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah.
but but I appreciate you for being here, Beautifully Broken, and I appreciate Danielle for all of the work that she did to help me kind of have a little bit more insight in me. And I definitely advocate for people to do this. And if this is something that you would be interested in, DM Danielle. She'll
Yep. And if it's something that you want to do on your own, just go to astroseek.com/free birth chart. And like I told Marlana, do not click download on anything ever on that site. Just copy and paste, copy and paste.
and
It's the
maybe have
worst pop-up ad place I've ever been to in my life.
and maybe have if you are AI user friendly, maybe have a chat GPT
Mhm.
handy so that it can properly help you digest the information that you're receiving.
Yeah.
Um, this has been fun. I'm gonna maybe we should do a follow-up one where I actually like fill in some of this stuff, like all 12 of them in a
I
couple
would
of
love
months.
I
In a
would
couple
love
of months and see like if anything maybe sit differently or whatever.
Yeah.
Um but it'll be a little homework project for me for sure.
Yeah.
But just I want you to know Madison said, sorry, I missed out, just caught the tail end. It's okay. So it's late here for me in New York. It's around 8:15 p.m. So the full replay will probably be up tomorrow because I'm gonna eat dinner and probably go to bed.
Mhm.
Just gonna be honest with people. So it'll eventually get out back in the universe if anybody wants to sit and kind of spend some more time with me and Danielle after it's live.
Yeah.
The replays will be there. But Danielle, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Thank you for exceeding my expectations on what you were putting together because it was absolutely amazing to get your little like insights and little hidden like little secret things beforehand. And I can definitely tell the effort and the amount that you kind of put into it. So I appreciate you spending some time with my houses.
I'm so glad that I got to. And I look forward to catching up with you and in a couple months, and always, love to see you every day in my notes. And I'm looking forward to delving into more of your work because I
wait,
haven't.
wait, I show up in your notes?
Yeah.
I,
I
s-
mean,
I, s- I swear I'd be a ghost floating. I like put notes out there and they're just like wee.
I know.
I'm like
I
I'm
know.
like oh I thought that was just my writing. Apparently my notes too. God damn it! And
No, I hear
all I
you.
want to do is connect with people, and I'm like my notes don't even help me connect anymore. I'm like fucking shit.
My
So
feed
what I find
changes
myself
every day.
yeah what I find myself doing is I hop on other people's random lives, and I'm like oh you sound cool. You seem
Yeah.
interesting, and then if I'm interested, I'll follow and maybe read a piece or two. But um, wow, what a beautiful way to end October, August 11th, and tomorrow is the. I know I'm already apparently in a whole different
Don't
world.
say that.
It's August 11th, but tomorrow is an exciting eclipse day, right?
Yeah.
So,
Full lunar? No, full solar, I think. Yeah.
well,
I don't know.
should we
I think
hold should we like hold on to our pants? Like, should we all like stay inside? What would be the best thing for most of us to do tomorrow? Do you have any last
let's
minute like tidbits or tips for anybody
I
that
would say go follow so many awesome astro poets, Far Stellar, Dark Star Astrology, Joshua K, Diver of the Tides. Like I get so much wonderful information from them, and then I incorporate it. So the last thing I'll say is when people are reading their horoscopes, you want to read your sun. your moon and your rising every day, not just your sun.
Mm.
And so it gives you a whole new perspective if you read all three, and they always usually completely align. So yeah, I'd say go check out those. I think
What are you going to be
tomorrow
doing tomorrow? Are you going to be staying?
tomorrow I have nothing on my agenda. I do not have my children this week. I have no work tomorrow. Um, so my favorite thing is I'm just gonna fucking hit my vape, eat some sunflower seeds, drink some Pepsi. I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna put my hands out for blessings and manifestations and illuminating and all these things. So I'm just protecting my energy and staying at home.
I said so, but do you have rituals? Like, do you have full moon rituals and eclipse rituals and
I
all the?
will
We
be
have all the planets lined up in rituals.
I will be collect. I love to collect moon water. You just put your water outside the night before. I'll probably do that for the eclipse, and then I use it to make my coffee in the morning. I know Diver of the Tides, Anira, she sprays the moon water before she does her
That's
tarot,
everything. Yeah,
which I
I was gonna
love.
say like Anira does. Anira collects moon water and definitely likes to spray it for
Yeah,
her readings.
I
Very
like that
very
spraying.
interesting. I didn't know anything about moon water until she started doing that for her tarots, and I was like, oh,
I could tell you so many funny things, but okay, well, go walk Onyx,
maybe next
and
time.
yes, yes,
But those sincerely thank you, and thank you everybody who decided to join us tonight. With that being said, you've been in the inner room where the conversations go deep, the connections surprise, and the truths linger long after the world quiets down. Until next time, keep listening inward because that's where the stories that shape us really live. I hope you all have a beautiful night, day, morning, wherever you are. Bye.
thank you.